Hello Infiniteers, and welcome back to Monsters, Inc. Today I'm going to finish the build exercise for this toy box, and hopefully I can finish it in a half an hour. But this video might go on a bit longer today. I really want to finish this series before Halloween, if I can, which means that I need to finish the build today. And so this video will be as long as it takes to do that. The first thing I'm going to build are the 4 bedrooms. I want to frame those in using basic blocks, and then I'll bring the interior toys out and decorate the bedrooms and the scare floor. So that's my plan for today. First thing I want to do though is we're going to bring this large terrain block over and put it about like that. And then we're going to come up to the basic blocks drawer, and we're going to use the large block wall to frame in, and some of these other walls to frame in our toy box. And so the first thing we will do, let's just come out here to the edge of this. Alright, so we are on, right now we're on the terrain, right now we're hanging off the back end of the terrain. And that's the orientation that I want for this first block. And we'll place this about like so. Something like that. And this will be the back wall of the first bedroom. And we're going to style it. I'm going to go to the left. We'll go to the one that's furthest left, which is the Sleeping Beauty riverbed. I'll set that to be my theme. Okay. And then we're going to put in a couple more walls on either side of the bedroom. And this isn't necessarily the best theme to use for the for the walls, but we don't really have any better alternatives. And you'll notice I've oriented it like that versus like that. Okay, so that's what we have, and we're going to need one more here. Make sure that's lined up underneath that. And I'll leave a hole for the door. Alright, so there's our first bedroom. Now, for the next bedroom, let me find my screen grab of this so I can get the layout of this right. Alright, so let's make sure we're in the right part of the drawer here. We're going to flip this around and bring the next one out like this. And I'm going to change the theme for this. I want every bedroom to look different. I don't want them to look cookie cutter, so it's going to be a little bit different shape, different texture. So this seems like a nice texture for a boy's bedroom, perhaps. Alright, so that lines up with the outside edge, and we'll bring this in and put 2 of these down. Like that. And notice I'm lining this up with the outside edge. That's important. I could line it up this way since I'm going to be connecting it here, but I'm going to be putting some interior decorations up against that wall. So we really need to make sure that it's lined up on the outside of this. That's the orientation of the wall. So that's why that is important. For this one, we have got to have this over a couple of nudges because we want to put this piece in. And I might have to tweak that. Hold on a second. Let's make sure we got this right. Alright, so we'll place that there. A couple of these up. Yeah, we're going to need to move that back down. Let's see, we could save ourselves a little bit of memory. Let's bring this in a little bit further. We're not going to be putting any decorations on this wall. This is where the door is coming in. Alright, And then we'll bring this over. We'll bring this over. Like that. All right, so there is our second bedroom, all framed in and ready to go. Now, the third bedroom, let's see, I want to grab the, oops, nope, not that one. There we go. All right, so for the next one, again, we'll start with this large wall. And I'm going to change the theme for this one. If we go over to the right, I'm going to use the floral print. I'll set that to be my theme. And I'm basically going to build a mirror image of the room that I just built. So we'll line this one up down here. This needs to line up with the end there like that. Bring this in. This one needs to line up down here like that. Okay, so there is the third bedroom. And then the last one will basically look like this. Alright, so we'll bring this over like that. We'll change the theme on this. For this, we'll use the floral print next door. Make sure that lines up on the back like that, and then bring it over and drop it here. Alright, so there are the walls for the room. And for the doors, probably easiest way to get there is to come pick this up over here. Put that down, and we're going to use the small automatic door. We want to orient this so it plugs that hole. Don't orient it like that, because you'll have a gap. Orient it like that. Put one in every door. Okay, so those see. Now let's put these in first. I gotta flip those other ones around. That one's okay. That one's okay. Alright, so then just flip these around so they line up with the door. And don't worry about the fact that those doors open. We're going to seal them a little later on in the build with a logic connection. Okay, so there are our 4 bedrooms. Now, in order to be able to put interior decorations along these walls and things, we're going to have to push the walls back. So on each of these rooms where we're going to be putting walls in, we need to push it back 1 nudge. All right? And you might be thinking, well, why didn't I do that right from the start? Well, I wanted to make sure the walls were placed correctly for the room shape, first of all. And once we know how they have to go in order to build the room, then we can push these back. And I'm not planning to put anything on those walls, so I don't have to push those back. But you're going to do the same thing with each of these rooms. Push the walls back along every wall that you plan to put objects on. can probably leave the doors where they are and leave those walls alone. We also need to move the floor down one nudge. All right. And then we can come out over here and place our toy box door. That's up under the gameplay toys. Maybe I should have placed that first, since the drawer normally starts right on that object. Alright, so we'll drop that. Let's open up the properties. The destination is going to be a new toy box. We're going to use a new interior. And the level name doesn't really matter. I'll just throw a letter in there because I have to throw something in there. You could call it interior if you want. The rest of those properties are fine. Alright, so at this point, what I am going to do is I'm going to go offline, and I'm going to move the walls back for these other 3 bedrooms and put those where they need to go. And then I'm going to save my toy box, and I'm going to go through that toy box door, and I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, here we are in the interior toy box, and I've showed you this trick lots of times in other videos, but if you're new to my channel, this is how you bring the interior toys out. So as we look around in the room here, we have our toy box door that's over there. I'm going to drop a button here, and we also need a time delayer. There we go. And we'll drop that right over here. Alright, on the time delayer, I'm going to set the property to about 5 seconds. That's going to give us enough time to do what we need to do. On the properties for the toy box door, we're going to set the destination to link to an existing toy box. And I want to link to the Monsters, Inc. That's where we just came from. Make sure you turn off Require Confirmation. We don't want that flag on. All right. Excuse me. And then I'd like to try to select that button, but this is one of the bugs in the interior. Sometimes when you put down your first Creativity toy, it won't let you do that. And so to do that, we need to use the magic wand. So I'll equip that. And we'll do a new logic connection on the button. When pressed, connect that up to the time delayer and start the delay. And on the time delayer, new logic connection when the delay is completed. We'll select the toy box door and change the level. Okay? So there we go. Now we can get rid of that magic wand. So when we push the button, we'll have 5 seconds, and then it'll automatically trigger the door. Now, let's go into the editor and find the toys that we're going to need. We just really need to get to a drawer that has the interior toys. So, for example, we could use the seating and beds, electronics and appliances. We're going to use stuff out of all of these. And get tables and cabinets. I think Accent and Decor has the Monsters, Inc. door station, so that's where we find that. Okay, so now that we have the editor set where we want, we'll exit out. To bring the interior toys out, we need to push the button and then open the editor within that 5-second window. And then we just wait for the time delayer to trigger the toy box door. And now I'll fast forward and pick it up after the toy box is done loading. Okay, here we are back in the Monsters, Inc. factory toy box. And when we open the editor, here are all of the interior toys. And away we go. This one, you'll notice, sits right on top of the floor here without any trouble. So that's good. Okay, let's decorate the scare floor first, because I know many of you have been eagerly waiting for this. Once again, here is a screenshot of the scare floor from the movie. You can see how the door stations are lined up on the left in relation to the light that's cast on the floor from the windows. On the right are some computer stations and racks of screen canisters. And here's another shot from the opposite direction, which gives us another view of how the furnishings in this room should be placed. Those screen canisters are stacked up on movable racks, and unfortunately, we don't have any interior decorations that look like that. However, at the end of the movie, we see the canisters standing upright next to the desks. We can do something like that, and so that's what I'm going to do. Now, next to the big map above the entrance, we have a clock and some other things, so I want to place some decorations up there to fill that space. And you can also see in the entryway, behind Sully and his crew, there are some vending machines. This is the same wall where the water cooler and the coffee station are, which you can see behind Mike in this shot. And you can also see it in this shot. So, let's see what we can do with these areas. And we're going to begin, as I said, on the scare floor. And let's come all the way, let's go all the way down here. We'll start on this end. So we're going to put the door station lined up in front of the shadow like that. And we're going to center it on this wall. And we're going to put 5 of these door stations down. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could put another one here, but it's just going to take up some extra memory, and I'm not sure we really need to do that. Let's see. Actually, I did. I did put down... What do you know? And we can always take it out again later if we need to, so let's put that in there. All right. Right next door to that, we have these laboratory canisters. And so let's put these down, since we're right here. And find my shot of that. Okay, so I'm going to put these back here like this. You can rotate them a little bit if you want. I don't think it really matters. Just so they're not quite so repetitive. And we're just putting them down next to every pillar. Across from every door station. So we got one more door station over here. Then we can put this little clump of canisters right in front of it. Like that. Okay, so there are those. And I like the way that looks. Now, I think, yeah, the computer desks are not in here. But let's just continue scrolling through the drawer, because there's other decorations that I need, and I'm not quite sure where they are. There are so many in here. So I just want to make sure I don't skip anything. A lot of these just aren't going to apply to this setting. Some of these will. Oh, here we go. I wanted to use these Lothal crates. And we're going to set these back right about here. Just because we're going to need a little something there. Okay. And I'm just looking to make sure there's nothing else in this drawer that I want for the scare floor. I do see some things that I want for the bedrooms, but yeah, that's everything for here. All right, tables and cabinets. Would it be under here? These are kitchen cabinets. Yeah, it's not under here. But there are some little cabinets we're going to want for the bedrooms when we get there. Alright, windows, we don't need anything like that here. I don't believe. Rugs we're not using. Electronics and appliances, here we go. I believe this is where the computer desks are. Oh, here's our break station. When you find these things, you need to put them where they gotta go. So here's a water cooler. We can put that right there. And I think I passed the vending machine a minute ago. I can put that in here too. We'll put a couple of them in. Alright, so there's the entryway there. And we have this droid detector. Is this something I'm using? No. A lot of these, I know where they are, I just can't find them. Here we go, here's the computer desks. Alright, so let's do those next. So there's a computer desk here that has some books on it. There we go. We're going to sit this right up here like that. And I'm going to put one on every door station. And we got another one to go. And that's the last one. Okay. And then we'll pick up this corner and we'll put that on the end like so. That kind of creates a little closed off office area. It's not quite the same shape-wise as what was in the movie, but that's pretty close. It gives us something anyway. Okay, so there is that. And then just continuing to scroll left, looking for whatever we can find. We have a little fridge. We could put one of those in that back area if we want. I'm not going to. We have sconces. We don't really need anything there. Okay, so that's everything out of this drawer. Seating and beds. We can use this little office chair here because we need a place for the workers to sit. So we'll put one of these in front of every computer desk. And that's the last one. Alright, so there's the scare floor. It's starting to take shape, and I really like how this is turning out. Alright, and the last thing we need are the decorations on this wall here. Don't think that's under seating and beds. I think, yeah, wall hangings, that's where we're going to find this. So we don't have a clock, unfortunately, that we can put down. And as you can see, we're running into this problem, so I should have moved that block out of the way. But since I forgot to do that, we'll just set this out here temporarily. Here's another nice decoration that we can use. And another nice one. And if you keep scrolling, I think the Monsters University flag is in here. And I thought that would be kind of a nice little touch. There it is. That little pennant. So we'll stick that right there. There we go. Okay, we'll move those into place later. I don't want to do that right now because I'll lose the interior toys here. So we'll have to move that block at the end and put those where they need to go. Alright, so that is everything with the scare floor. I think that just looks fabulous. All right, now we'll move on to the bedrooms, and let's start with the beds. So under, whoops, where was I? Seating and beds. So we have all kinds of little beds here that we can do, and we don't have to use the same one in every room. And once again, we want to make sure we put this at the level where the floor will be. This one can sit on top of the floor, so we didn't have a problem with that, but some of the other decorations we would have. So this would sit right up against that wall. Actually, that's not going to really work for us. So you'll see why when we get to the logic. So I actually want that sitting out away from the wall a little bit. And remember, we pushed that wall back, so really the bed needs to sit here. In the next room, we'll use the same bed. And we're going to do the same sort of thing. So rather than put it up against the wall, put it out a little ways away. And again, because we pushed the wall back, go one more nudge out. For the next room, we'll make it a girl's room, and we'll use Minnie's bed. So in this room, same thing. I could put it against the wall, but we'll leave it out away from the wall. So that bed's going to sit there like that. And in the last room, I'll just use this one again. We'll keep it simple. And you'll see as I'm starting to put these in that my memory is going to start climbing with the use of the interior toys here. So I don't want to go too crazy with the variety, but you do have some variety here that you can use. I'm going to save memory by using the same objects multiple times. All right, under windows, here we go. Let's just go ahead and put these in next. If we go to the right, we have Andy's windows. These would sit right up here against that wall, but this is why we had to push the walls back. It's also why we had to move the floor down, because the floor is red. So this is going to sit right here. This will sit right there. All right, we'll use the tune window for this bedroom. And again, I think I'd like it about like that on the wall. We'll need two windows. Okay. The Darling nursery window we're going to put down here in this first bedroom. So this is going to sit right there where that wall would come forward. And for the last room, we'll use these tune windows again. Like that. Okay. That takes care of windows. Accent and decor. Let's do tables and cabinets first. And under here, we have this bookcase. We'll place this over here. We're going to put it up against that wall like that. But again, we got to pull this in because I pushed that wall back. And if we go back over to the right, we have this little nightstand. That'll sit right here next to the bed. And we're going to put one of these, I think, in every room. Yeah. don't think this one, yeah, it does sit up next to the bed. Okay. Some of these you don't really have much choice. You're kind of stuck with wherever it positions it for you. Alright, so there is that. And if we keep going to the right, we have Minnie's little vanity table. Since this is a girl's room and it goes with the bed, we'll put this out here like this. I want to slide this over a little bit. Yeah, I think so. I'll put that there like that. Okay. This would go pretty well, oops, over here in this blue room. So I'll put that on this wall, and we'll put it about like that. Again, remember the wall is pushed back, so we got to make sure we bring that forward. And we'll put a little dresser up here in this corner. Like so. Alright, so I think that's everything for that room. Over in this room, takes a while to get through these screen captures that I did. Alright, we use this up here. That's as close as I can get to that wall. Again, we've got to bring it forward. Okay, so we have that. And got a couple other things in that room, but I'm looking at the tables here first, just to make sure I got all of the tables. Yep. Got one more of these over here. Alright, so I had this positioned right off the foot of the bed. So just like that. And it's got to go there. Okay. Alright, that is all of the tables. Accent and decor. If we go over to the right, we find some toys. Since these are kids' bedrooms, I thought it'd be nice to have some toys in here. So on the floor, maybe over in this corner, we didn't move that wall, but maybe put some toys on the floor in that corner where they're kind of out of the way. And that's the last thing we needed for that room. Did I have any toys in the girls' room? No. I had a chest of drawers there, a little toy chest. In the boys' bedroom over here, I did have some toys. I placed these between the windows. So, like that. And that's all I had there. Okay. And if we scroll over to the right, we find Andy's toy chest. I thought that would be kind of nice. We'll throw this right in here like this. In the girls' room, I'm using Aurora's chest. So that's going to sit up here like that. Alright, I think that is everything. Let me just double check my screen grabs here to make sure I have all of the interior toys that I want. And it looks like I do. Alright, So now that we have all of those, and we're done with the interior toys, we can go into Spark mode and we can start moving all of the things back into position. So we'll move the floor back up. We'll move the walls back where they need to go. And even though you can't place the interior toys down without colliding with those, once they're in place, you can move these walls back and there's no collision. And then the windows are sitting right up on the door, right on the walls, right where they need to be, which is good. So we can bring that out. That sits right up against Minnie's little vanity there. Slide the wall over. This will sit right up against these windows now. And there's that room. That looks pretty good. Same thing in this room. I always like to turn the camera and try to see what the final result looks like. And I could do this part of it offline instead of forcing you to watch me do this, but it is kind of fun to see how it all comes together. I had to move these corner pieces back more than just a nudge to get them out of my way. Alright, so there's that room. That looks like a kid's room. And then just a few more walls to put back for this last room. And one more. Okay, and there's that room. And then we need to move this block out of the way. So we'll just slide this straight up. And then we can move these decorations into place. And you'll notice when I pick this up, the editor kind of doesn't know what this is, so it just defaults to the toy dispenser. Don't worry about that. Just pick the object up and move it where it needs to go. So I'm pushing these back one nudge up against where that wall will sit. When I put it back in place... Oh, there we go. It's trying to select that silly thing. Oh, and we've got to move another block. So if you do forget to move something ahead of time, you can still put down the interior toys. And then you can put these toys out of the way, move them into position, and then move these blocks back where they belong. Like that. And there we go. And at this point we're done with the interior toy box. We don't need this toy box door anymore. Just delete that. The toy box will still exist. That interior toy box will still exist in this save file, but removing that toy box door will save a bit of memory. And you can see we got quite a bit there. But we're going to fill that up with Creativitoys here soon. But there's our scare floor. How cool is that? With the walls set up the way they are, and the door stations, the computer terminals, this looks pretty good. And with that, the build exercise for this toy box is done, except for the ceiling on the warehouse room and the tunnel that connects the scare floor with the door storage area, but we'll wait and put those on at the end. Next time, we'll start working on the logic for this toy box, beginning with the scare challenge. I know Papa H is really eager to see how I implemented that, since that challenge was his idea, so I will do that first. You won't want to miss that, so before you go, be sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment to let me know what you think of the completed build for the Monsters, Inc. factory. I'd love to hear what you think and what you might have done differently. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.